This video is sponsored by F1 Delta Time. F1 Delta Time is the officially licensed F1 game from Animoca Brands running on the Ethereum blockchain. In F1 Delta Time, you buy NFTs, racing cars, components, drivers and tyres. You put them together in your workshop and then you can go off and race the daily time trial. This is different tracks under different weather conditions, and at the end of the week the top placed players gain rewards. There's also a staking mechanic, which means you can stake cars that you are not using in the game and gain the in-game cryptocurrency called REV. The game is now launching its 2020 season with a new set of NFTs and is also now experimenting with NFTs that allow you to own parts of the track, which means anytime players race on that track, you also gain some REV token. You can check it all out at f1deltatime.com. Thanks for the sponsorship. Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World Daily with me, John Jordan. So the news we're looking at today is that F1 Delta Time, the Formula One game from Animoca Brands, has just auctioned successfully its first NFT piece of track. So each track in F1 Delta Time is going to consist of 330 NFTs. It's all a bit complicated. And each of them, there's different rarity levels. There's 5 of what they call the Apex NFTs, so only 5 of those. And each one of those Apex NFTs gains 5% of any money that is spent by people playing that NFT. So it's not just an NFT that has value in and of itself. It's an NFT with revenue attached to it. That's the kind of one of the reasons I think that the sale has been successful. So let's have a look. This is an article which is actually looking at the most expensive game NFTs, because the Apex NFT from Monaco has sold for equivalent of today of $223,000. So these kind of NFT valuation things are quite difficult. Obviously, there's a crypto price. In this case, the price was paid in the REV currency. So the REV currency is the in-game currency of F1 Delta Time and other motorsport games that Animoca Brands is working on. So 9 million of these REV. The price of ETH is going up and down a lot at the moment, but roughly you can work out $223,000. So that's the most expensive one. In terms of a game NFT, there's been other NFTs, particularly land NFTs, can sell for quite a lot of money. Those are quite difficult to quantify because some of those are big parcels that can be broken up into smaller bits and sold off. So it's kind of difficult to know exactly how to do that. So in terms of this article, this is just game NFTs rather than these land NFTs. But yeah, you can break down lots of things, and some obviously some artwork is now selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars. So there's a whole bunch of different NFT stuff. But we're talking about games, so let's look at the game NFTs. So I thought as part of this we'd actually have a look at other expensive NFTs, and again, as I say, this kind of list is set up in dollars, and it's the dollar price when the NFT was purchased or auctioned. So as we'll see, the ETH price or the cryptocurrency price is sometimes higher because obviously it depends on the dollar to crypto ratio at the time of these things sell. So anyway, so we have 223,000, the most expensive NFT game NFT currently. Interestingly, the person who bought it was Meta Kovan. So he's a well-known collector. He funds the Metaverse NFT collection, and he also bought the F1 Delta Time 111 car. So he's bought the most expensive car in the game, and now he's kind of broken his record for the most expensive kind of game NFT. So he's a wealthy investor individual. I spoke to him on my podcast. If you want to go and find that out at Blockchain Gaming World on your usual podcast providers. So let's have a look. What else has been going on? So actually, the last few months have been pretty busy for NFTs. So I've got CryptoPunks in here. It's not formally a game, but it's kind of I think it sits within the game kind of environment really. So in mid-November here we had this ape CryptoPunk, and it sold for 150 ETH. So that was about $72,000 at time of purchase. Only 24 ape punk exists. There are 10,000 CryptoPunks. Never going to be any more made. So only 24 apes. So that's actually only the second most rare type of CryptoPunk. There's also alien punks. There's fewer of those, but anyway, that one's sold for that. So we have had a lot of activity with Axie Infinity recently. So from the end of September, we've had this triple mystic Axie called Angel, sold for 300 ETH early November. That was, at that point, $130,000. The price of ETH has gone up a lot since then, so that will now be higher, but you have to kind of draw a line in the sand somehow. So what's interesting with the Axies is there are a maximum of 4,088 what they call original Axies. That's programmatic, so there can't be any more of those, although there may be less depending on depends on the breeding patterns. And a third of the origin Axies that are created, a third of those are going to have this mystic part, and you can have up to 6 mystic parts. At the moment, we only have there's only been 3 quad Axies, so those are Axies where 4 of their body parts are mystic. This was a triple Axie, only 17 of those, so 3 of the body parts are this kind of very rare mystic. So those Axie Infinity has been seeing a lot of increase in its sales. I've just put that Angel one in. Back to CryptoPunk. So CryptoPunks, this zombie is only 88 zombies. That sold for 185 ETH. That was $64,000 at the time. Obviously, as we go back in time, ETH, the value of ETH was a lot lower than it is now. Currently around $600. Obviously, at the start of the year, it was closer to 200. We have another CryptoPunk in September. So we had this ape, 24 apes, 140 ETH. So actually, in ETH terms, that zombie is actually more expensive than this ape, but the dollar price is different. And then going back a bit more in time, we have the F1 Formula 1 111 car that was bought by the Meta Kovan and his MetaPurse collection. That was 415.9 ETH, so that was about $1,111 at the time. And then back in 2019 again, February 19, we had Immutable Games for its Gods Unchained card game, sold one of its 4 Genesis Titan cards for 137.8 ETH. That was $60,000. ETH was a lot lower then. And then we have the kind of weirdest one of all. We have the CryptoKitty Dragon, again not really a game, but a kind of part of the game collectible kind of collection section, I suppose. And that was purchased for 600 ETH, and that was $170,000 at the time of purchase. That seems to be a mistake because this is not in any way a valuable CryptoKitty. It has no valuable traits at all. But someone spent a lot of money and then put it back on sale for that same amount of money. So it seems like that was a mistake. The ETH price then was much lower. So we can see what's going on here. There's these different games and different kind of collectible experiences, and the price of these is definitely on the up. However, whether you measure it in ETH or certainly if you measure it in dollars, it's going up because the price of ETH is going up as well. But we've definitely seen over the last few months CryptoPunks breaking new highs, Axie Infinities breaking new highs in terms of the most expensive sales. The kind of CryptoPunks is just a pure collectible, so that's just people driving interest. There's no value associated with them. With Axie Infinity, there's some sort of, you could potentially argue there's some sort of value because there may be kind of fees associated with those in future, but not really at the moment. It's just a kind of good community that's growing, and so these are kind of attracting value from that point of view. What's interesting, I guess, with F1 Delta Time it is very interesting that it's trying to build these long-term revenue flows in there. So if the game ever takes off and people start playing these tracks a lot, then potentially you have the ability to have quite big revenue flows coming in from ownership. You can also stake these NFTs in the game, and that also earns you this Rev token. One of the advantages of having your own blockchain token, your cryptocurrency is you generate it. So they've minted a whole bunch, and they're keeping a certain percentage of that to reward people in the game, and particularly until the audience gets bigger. But they basically have a lot of this rev to give away, so people can earn money through doing that. So I don't expect to see this changing anytime soon. I think we'll continue to go up. We'll see $300,000, $500,000 of these value of these NFTs particularly if any of these games actually can demonstrate their scaling. So, if we think of games, most games now, most normal games, most traditional games, might have hundreds of thousands, millions of users potentially, and you only need a small percentage of that being fed back into the game ecosystem to make these NFTs, if they can have a claim on that revenue stream, very, very valuable indeed. We're not there yet, but we're definitely taking steps towards that. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. This is Blockchain Gaming World Daily, dipping into the world of blockchain games and digging up the news. So thanks for watching. Please do subscribe to the channel, and hope to see you again soon.